There are some lessons you only learn after you wasted your energy, your time, your peace, and sometimes even yourself. And honestly, I wish someone had set me down earlier and told me those things directly, because a lot of pain in life doesn't come from bad luck. It comes from the things we keep allowing, the patterns we keep repeating, the people we keep making excuses for. You think you're being patient, you think you're protecting the relationship, but really you're abandoning yourself little by little. So these are things you should genuinely never do if you want peace, self-respect, confidence, and a better life. And some of these lessons I had to learn the hard way. Never settle for breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs almost never look bad at first. That's why people stay in those situations for a long time. Because the person still texts you sometimes. They still compliment you sometimes. They still give you attention sometimes. And those sometimes become enough to keep you emotionally attached. You hold onto tiny moments and turn them into hope. One good conversation suddenly makes you forget about 3 weeks of inconsistency. One compliment makes you ignore the confusion. One late night emotional message makes you think maybe they do still care. But deep down, you know when effort is inconvenient. You know when you constantly have to question where you stand with someone else. You start living in emotional survival mode. You overanalyze everything. You become grateful for the bare minimum. You get excited over tiny things that should actually be normal. And that's the saddest part. When someone gives you so little, that basic respect starts feeling special. Unless someone genuinely says, I was wrong, it was my fault. And then actually change their behavior, not for 2 days, not for 1 week, but consistently, nothing changes. Words can sound beautiful. Some people know exactly what to say and exactly when to say, but words without changed behavior mean absolutely nothing, because real care is visible, real effort is visible, and real intentions are consistent. So never stay attached to potential. This one is uncomfortable, but very real. And I think a lot of women don't even realize how much energy they lose doing this, because it usually starts small. You like someone, you think about them a little, you check your phone a little bit more often, like normal, but then suddenly they become a center of your whole mental world. You wake up and you immediately think about them. You start checking if they watched your story, you reread messages, you analyze their tone, you wonder why they reply differently today. You imagine scenarios that haven't even happened. And the scary part is hours of your day disappear into this. And meanwhile, your own life is sitting there waiting for your attention, your goals, your hobbies, your peace, your future. Instead of pouring energy into yourself, you're mentally revolving around another person. And I've had those moments in the past where I realized I spent almost an entire day emotionally reacting to someone who probably wasn't even thinking about me that much, like not to this limit. Your attention is valuable. Where your attention goes, your energy goes. And where your energy goes, your life follows. No relationship should cost you your own individuality. Life should add to your life, not consume your entire identity. So every time you catch yourself obsessing, overthinking, waiting, replaying conversation, you need to come back your focus on yourself, to your own life, because your dreams deserve your energy more than someone inconsistent our will. Stop renting out space in your head for free. People usually know exactly what they're doing. We love giving people the benefit of the doubt because it feels safer emotionally. We tell ourselves maybe they didn't realize, maybe they're confused, but most of the time they know. They know they disappeared. They know they hurt you. It's their choice to act like nothing happened. But then it becomes your choice. Your choice whether you continue accepting behavior that hurts you. And this is where so many people betray themselves, because they stay quiet to avoid conflict. They pretend they're okay when they're not. They minimize their feelings just to keep the connection alive. And at first, it feels like love, dedication, devotion, but eventually you realize you're not protecting the relationship. You're sacrificing yourself to keep it. And every single time you accept disrespect, inconsistency, dishonesty, emotional confusion, you teach people what you will tolerate. You literally train people how to treat you. And that's why boundaries are so important, because boundaries are not about controlling other people, they're about deciding what you refuse to normalize in your own life. I think this is one of the most common ways people slowly abandon themselves without realizing it. You feel uncomfortable, but you stay quiet. But you tell yourself it's not a big deal. You want to speak up, but you don't because you don't want tension. You become the person who constantly self-sacrifices emotionally to keep everyone else comfortable. But internally, you feel unseen, you feel unheard, because suppressing your feelings doesn't make them disappear. It just forces them deeper into your body and mind until eventually they come out as resentment, exhaustion, anxiety, or emotional numbness. Being mature doesn't mean tolerating things that hurt you. Being mature means expressing yourself calmly, honestly, and respectfully instead of pretending everything is fine when it actually isn't. You're not difficult for having emotions. You're not too much for communicating your feelings. Your emotional well-being matters too. So stop abandoning your peace just to protect someone else's comfort. You know those moments where something happens and your emotions instantly take over. Someone says something in a weird tone, they reply differently than usual, and suddenly your whole mood changes. You feel hurt, angry, rejected, disappointed. And your first instinct is to react immediately, to confront them, to shut down emotionally, to make dramatic decision in the heat of the moment, and to walk away. Emotions are intense, but they're also temporary. And the dangerous thing is that when you're emotional, your brain starts creating stories. You stop seeing reality clearly. You assume things. You feel missing information. You see situations through your own pain, fear, and insecurity. And sometimes the situation wasn't even what you thought it was at the first. And that's why learning to pause is such a powerful skill. Not suppress your feelings, not ignore them, just pause. Take a breath. Step away from your phone for a second. Let your nervous system calm down before you decide what something means. Because not every feeling needs immediate reaction. Sometimes clarity only comes after emotion settles down. Emotional intelligence is not about never feeling emotional. It's about not letting temporary emotions permanently destroy things that matter to you. So it doesn't mean that you have to be not emotional. It means that just do not react immediately. There are periods in life that honestly feel brutal. Not because something dramatic happened, but because nothing seemed to happen at all. You try, you work hard, you stay consistent, you keep showing up, and still nothing moves. No validation, no results, no signs that things are getting better. And those moments test you in a completely different way. Because it's easy to believe in yourself when life is rewarding you every day, when the opportunities are coming, when people are supporting you, and when the progress is invisible. But when everything feels quiet, that's when the relationship with yourself becomes visible. Because suddenly there's no external proof that you're doing the right thing. And your mind starts getting louder. Maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe I don't have enough this, I don't have enough that. This is where most people give up. Not because they were not capable, but because they got tired of believing before seeing proof. Sometimes your life is growing underground before anything becomes visible above the surface. And if you're in a season where nothing seems to work right now, don't let temporary invisibility convince you that your efforts are meaningless. Some things take longer because they're building something deeper inside of you first. And sometimes the hardest phase of your life is the phase right before your things finally shift. I think a lot of us were unconsciously taught that our value comes from what we achieve, how productive we are, how successful we look, how much money we make, and how much we accomplish. And because of that, so many people secretly feel guilty anytime they slow down. Like resting has to be earned. That mindset is simply so exhausting because life naturally comes in phases, but your self-worth attached to your performance, every slower phase starts feeling like personal failure. And that creates so much unnecessary pressure. You stop seeing yourself as a human being and start seeing yourself like a machine that constantly needs to produce something to deserve love, respect, or rest. But your value was never supposed to depend on your productivity. You still work hard, you still want more for yourself, you still grow, but now it comes from love instead of panic. And that's a completely different energy because your worth is not something you have to earn over and over again. You were worthy already before any achievement happened. Comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your peace without even realizing it. And social media has made it so much worse. Because now you can wake up and within 5 minutes see hundreds of people showing their best moments, their success, relationship, their grow-ups, and their all possible achievements. You start questioning yourself. Why am I not there yet? right? What am I doing wrong? They're younger than me and already successful. What's wrong with me? And before you even realize it, you stop appreciating your own progress because you're too focused on somebody else's timeline. But the thing is, you're comparing completely different journeys, different background, opportunities, struggles, and different timing itself. And the most importantly, different life paths. Some people bloom early, some bloom later, some people succeed in public, some build quietly for years before anyone notices. And neither one is wrong. Somebody else receiving something does not mean there is now less available for you. Life is not one tiny pie when someone else taking a piece, leaving nothing for you. There is room for everybody, but comparison makes you simply forget that. So instead of obsessing over where other people are, focus on becoming proud of your own progress, even if it's slower, even if nobody sees it yet, because other people's success doesn't erase your potential. It doesn't erase what you've done in life. Their light does not dim yours unless you decide to stand in their shadow instead of building your own. Some of the most important realizations happen in the smallest moments ever, like a random interaction that suddenly changes the way you see someone, a tiny comment that reveals a person's true character, a situation that seems not that serious but leaves you feeling weird for the rest of your day. Those moments matter more than people realize because life is constantly giving you tiny hints about people, yourself, and your patterns. Sometimes you realize, why do I always feel anxious around certain people? Or why do I suddenly become quieter in some environment? Or maybe someone makes a joke at your expense and everyone laughs, but deep down you feel disrespected. And that feeling matters. I think a lot of people ignore their intuition way too much just because something doesn't look big enough to question. So stop diminishing small situations like they mean nothing. Sometimes a 5-minute interaction teaches you more than years of overthinking. A lot of people feel confident only when life is giving them proof that they should feel confident. Like when things are working out, when they're getting attention, feel successful, everything is clear and predictable, but uncertainty changes everything because suddenly there is no reassurance anymore. You don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how the things are going to work out, and you don't even know if you're making the right decision. So that's when your relationship with yourself becomes so visible because uncertainty amplifies your inner voice, and that voice constantly attacks you, doubts you, criticizes you. And I've noticed that during uncertain phases, people either become their own safe place or their worst enemy. Real self-esteem is not pretending to be confident all the time. It's knowing how to emotionally support yourself when life feels unstable. It's being able to say, okay, I don't fully know what I'm doing right now, but I trust myself that I'm going to figure this out over time, and I'm going to make things work. And that's real confidence, not perfection, not always knowing the answer, not always feeling fearless. Real confidence in staying emotionally grounded even when life feels messy. Because anybody can feel powerful when everything is easy, but uncertainty reveals how deeply you truly believe in yourself. The problem nowadays is that people are almost never fully alone with themselves anymore. The second life feels uncomfortable, boring, stressful, or emotionally heavy, and people distract themselves. Phones, social media, Netflix, talking to people 24/7, constant noise, constant stimulation. And at first it feels harmless because everyone does it. But over time you realize something really scary. You can't even sit alone with your own thoughts anymore without reaching for distraction immediately. Growth usually happens in silence. It happens when you finally slow down enough to actually hear yourself think. Notice your patterns, notice your fears, bad habits, real goals, dreams, your real emotions. But if you constantly distract yourself, you never fully meet yourself. And a lot of people stay emotionally stuck for years, not because they're incapable of growing, but because they never give themselves space to reflect deeply. And the thing is, distraction feels productive sometimes. Scrolling feels like relaxing, constantly consuming content, feeling like learning. But being stimulated all the time is not the same as actually evolving. A real self-development requires awareness, and awareness requires silence sometimes. I've noticed that some of my biggest realizations came during moments when I stopped distracting myself for a second. No music, no phone, no people, no outside noise. Just me being honest with myself. A lot of answers you're searching for externally already exist inside you. You're just too distracted to hear them. So never become addicted to constant distraction, because if you spend your whole life escaping yourself, you'll never fully become who you're capable of being. People forget that making mistakes is literally part of being alive. Like, you're going to mess something up. You're going to trust the wrong person. You're going to say things you regret. You're going to make choices that did not work out. That doesn't mean you ruined your whole life. It means you're human. But what destroys people emotionally is not the usually mistake itself. It's the shame they attached to it afterwards. The constant replaying, self-blame, and the question, why did I do that? And after a while, one mistake slowly becomes their entire identity. They stop seeing it as something they experience and start seeing it as who they are. That mindset keeps people stuck in guilt for years. You can't grow if you're constantly emotionally pushing yourself for the past. And at some point, you have to let yourself move on. Not avoid responsibility, not pretend it didn't happen, but learn from it without destroying yourself over it. Your worst decisions become your greatest lessons after. Sometimes the mistake itself is what forces you to grow up emotionally. Healing begins when you stop asking yourself, how could I be so stupid? And start asking, what did this experience teach me about myself or about the situation? It's a little bit too basic, but please do listen to yourself. It's going to save you a lot of nerves, a lot of time, and a lot of mental peace. So I thank you for watching this video, and I see you in the next one.